If there's one game that perfectly exemplifies my experience with the Lenovo Legion Go, it's Championship Manager 0102. Now, you don't have to be a fan of retro football management simulators to get the point I'm making here. The fact is that this is a game I played to death in the early 2000s and have still held up as the best of its genre ever since. But finding systems that you can actually play it on these days is getting pretty difficult. That's where the Lenovo Legion Go comes in, a handheld gaming device that can bring those classics back to life. Or at least so I thought. Now, there shouldn't actually be an issue at all because the game itself is actually available as a free download. So all you need to do is install it onto your computer, find a way to mount it onto a virtual disk, and in theory you should be able to go ahead and start playing. So far so good, but when I actually tried to boot this up on the Legion Go, I ran into some really weird errors. I was feeling pretty deflated, but I knew there were plenty more games to play on the Legion Go, so I just cracked on with something else. Meanwhile, in the comments of my original Legion Go review, somebody pointed out that there was a way of getting Championship Manager running on the Legion Go, and basically you just needed to turn the display into a portrait mode. It's a really simple option which I just had not found an answer to, so thanks to the person who posted that comment. It was such a simple solution that had caused me so much frustration, but you know what? In the end, I got there and I managed to boot up Champman 0102. And I'm still just as bad at it as I was all those years ago. Windows is not half as bad as some people make out, but there are a lot of barriers you need to break through and steps you need to take in order to get the Legion Go set up exactly to your liking. Once you do get it set up though, it can be a lot more powerful than something like the Steam Deck, which for example, can't play Champman 0102. And this is also where you see the flexibility of the Legion Go's tablet format really come to life, because you can simply snap off the controllers, rotate it into a genuine portrait mode, and use that FPS mode so you've got a built-in mouse with you wherever you go. Keykeeper 3D is an Etsy store that sent me over some 3D printed accessories, and they're just one example of independent makers who are building brilliant accessories for the Legion Go. This vertical stand in particular is perfect for those Champman sessions. It's got really well thought through cutouts that allow for ventilation as well as access to the volume buttons and the USB-C port, and you can even slide in a JS-AUX dock into the groove underneath and use this as a base for your external monitor. Champman 0102 is one of those games where you will require a physical keyboard, and my go-to option is usually the Air 60 by Newfie, but Keykeeper 3D did send me over this nice little controller bracket where you can stow the Legion Go's controls, and it's got a perfectly shaped cutout for the Re 2 mini keyboard. The other thing I appreciate about this controller bracket is that it keeps your hands fairly wide apart, which feels quite natural with the Legion Go. I've also got the JS-AUX controller pack, which just snaps onto each controller, and you can use this either in like a dual-handed setup or snap them together magnetically and use them more like a kind of games console style controller. The other cool thing about these little adapters is that they cover up the pins on either side of the Legion Go controllers. That means that when you turn it into that joystick mode for FPS, then it's going to feel a lot more comfortable to hold. To compensate for the fact there is now a little extra bit jutting out of the controller, it will also come with a little base that you can slot in magnetically, and to be honest, it's pretty much exactly the same as the one which comes with the Legion Go, other than the fact it just fits with this adapter on. Having tested many handhelds on this channel by now, I find it interesting which games I actually gravitate to on different devices, because there is a difference. I'm still a console gamer at heart, and I gravitate towards the PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch for those exclusive titles that I can't get anywhere else. For retro or indie games, I usually gravitate towards the Steam Deck, especially if it's got quite a dark design language like Shogun Showdown, which really pops on the Steam Deck's OLED display. One game that really shows off the Legion Go in this regard is Balatro. While it would be great to have that OLED display, there's no denying that the Legion Go is still really vibrant, and just having that huge 8.3-inch display gives you so much space to spread out your cards and make an even worse decision than you would usually. For strategy games that are a bit more graphically intensive, like for example Valkyria Chronicles, which I played through on this device, you are going to run up against the battery limit within 2 hours if you don't like the sound of fans. Right now I'm making significant progress through The Witcher 3. At the same time, it is the kind of game that really does reward playing for like 3 or 4 hours straight, and that's just something that the Legion Go is not able to do if you forget to bring a charger. Now that the PlayStation Portal has game streaming and The Witcher 3 is one of the games on the PlayStation Premium library, I booted it up to see how well it would run, and it actually runs better there streaming from the cloud than it does on the Legion Go, which is a little bit disappointing, I have to say. So really, this is the thing with the Legion Go. It could be the greatest backlog killer, but only if you've got a charger with you and if you're prepared to tinker with it to get it finely tuned exactly to your liking. While you do occasionally strike gold and get a really amazing experience out of it, it's not the game system for everyone or every game, and it's not going to make me a 100% PC gamer yet. But check out my original review of the Legion Go if you are wondering what it's like to approach as a console gamer. I go through a lot more details in that video of how to set it up and how difficult Windows really is to get started on. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.